All right, so on the quiz for point slope form, I'm going to go over these questions here. So if you missed any of these and you want to see the answers or how I do them, they'll be in this video. Okay. So questions 2 and 3, these are going to be the exact same. They're the exact same. Basically, you have your point slope formula: y minus y naught m x minus x naught. And what they do is they give you the point. So 8 is like your x naught. So you're going to put that there. And 3 is like your y naught. So you're going to put that there. So it's going to be y minus 3, because 3 is your y naught. And then the m is a 6. And then x minus 8, because 8 is like your x naught. And so that's going to match option B. Yep, looks like it matches option B there. Okay. Number 3 is going to be the exact same thing. The way it works here is 2 is your y naught. So it's going to have to say y minus 2. Actually, that's all you had to know on this one. Jeez. Yeah, all the other ones don't do that. So it's going to say y minus 2. And then for the x naught, it's a negative 3. So it's like you're subtracting a negative 3. And that's why it's going to be an x plus 3 down here. All right. Questions 4 and 5. The main thing to pay attention to on this one was your slope. So the slope is negative 2, which means it's going to be going down 2 and then over 1. All right, so first off, it's got to be a negative slope. So it can't be C because that has positive slope. A and B, the slope is actually negative 1/2. I know it's kind of hard to tell because these all count by 2's. But if you look here and here, it goes down 1 and then over 2. So A and B, those have a slope of negative 1/2. So D is the only one that goes down 2 and then over 1. It's really hard to tell though from the little grid markings, isn't it? Yeah, because they all count by 2's. Yeah, so there's a spot that would be what, 3 high? Yeah. So that would be 4 to the left and then 3 high. Man, yeah, that's a really hard way to tell on this one. I guess the other way that you could answer this is based it off of the point that it represents. So it shows x plus 3 here. So the point that it passes through is a negative 3 for the x and a positive 1 for the y. So you need to look for which of these graphs contains the point negative 3 comma 1. So negative 3 comma 1 would be 3 to the left right here, and then up 1. Again, that's kind of hard to tell since they're counting by 2's. But all the other ones, negative 3 comma 1, that line definitely does not pass through it. Negative 3 comma 1 does not pass through it. All right. Number 5, I think on this one you can definitely just use the slope. So if you actually take a look at the graph and calculate the slope, it is a positive slope, so it can't be option D, because there it's a negative 2. Let's see, if I calculate the slope, I'm going to use my y-intercept there, and I'm going to go up 2 over 1. There he goes. So it crosses right there, or you could have used this point and that point, and then just simplified your answer. So it goes up 2 and then over 1, so the slope has to be 2 over 1. There's only one option that does that. That's option A. The other way is to use the point that it represents. The point that it represents is negative 2 for x and negative 3 for y. And so you can tell on that by that point right there, it's 2 to the left and then down 3. So the coordinates for that point are negative 2, negative 3. All right. Let's see here. 5, good. 6, 7. All right. Number 7. What is the x-intercept? I'm going to plug in 0 for y. That's how you find an x-intercept. And then we're just going to solve this little equation here. Got to move my 5 over. That's going to give me negative 5 is equal to negative 2x. We've got two negatives, so the answer is going to end up being positive here. Divide by negative 2, divide by negative 2, and you'll get x equals whatever negative 5 divided by negative 2 is, which is 2.5. Okay, so 2.5 would be option B. All right, number 8. Convert to slope-intercept form. Here, let me write this up here. Y minus 1 is equal to 4, x minus 5. So we're going to convert it to y equal mx plus b form. We just got to get the y by itself. That's all you got to go for. So I'm going to distribute my 4. Y minus 1. So it'll be 4 times x is 4x. And then 4 times negative 5 will be negative 20. And then we just need to move over this 1. So add 1 to both sides. Y equals 4x still. And negative 20 plus 1 will be negative 19. So it's 4x minus 19. And that'd be option C. Nice. All right, the last one was number 10, and this one's a bit of a pain. All right, so just using, if we just pay attention to this point right here, 4 comma 3, it's going to say, if it's a 4 for x, then down here in the answer option, it's going to say x minus 4, and it's a 3 for y, so it's going to say y minus 3. So option A says that. It says y minus 3 and x minus 4. And option C says that as well, y minus 3, x minus 4. So B doesn't say that, and D doesn't say that as well. All right. One way that you could solve this is by figuring out the slope between these 2 points. Like you see here, the slope is 3, and here the slope is negative 5. So if you wanted to use the y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, you could figure out your slope based on these 2 points, and that would tell you the answer. Or if I just plot these points, 4 comma 3 would be 4 over and 3 up. And then 2 comma negative 3 would be 2 over and 3 down. You can tell just based off of this that it's a positive slope, right? All right, which means it can't be option C. It'd have to be option A. Down here, I talked about plugging in the point. This is probably the way to go. I don't know. But what this is trying to tell you is that if you plug in 2 for x and negative 3 for y on option A, it should cause the equation to balance. So I'm going to do that real quick. Negative 3, I'm going to plug that in for y. Negative 3 for y, and then minus 3 is equal to 3 parentheses. And then for the x, I'm going to plug in a 2. 2 minus 4. All right, work this out and see if it actually balances. Negative 3 minus 3, that's negative 6. 2 minus 4, that's equal to negative 2. So I get 3 times negative 2. And this does balance. 3 times negative 2 is equal to negative 6. All right, so it causes the equation to work. If you were to try that on option C, you'd end up with some nonsense like it's not going to balance. You'd end up with negative 6 is equal to something else. Like it wouldn't be the same thing back on both sides. All right. If you have any other questions, please let me know.